Samantha Cohen, a former longtime palace aide, recently made statements related to Meghan's shocking bullying incident in the past. This is considered an important step forward in making the investigation report public. Let's find out what Cohen said, as well as look back at Meghan's bullying accusations in this video. Hello, and a warm welcome to the ms.royal channel. Samantha Cohen has confirmed to an Australian newspaper that she was indeed among those interviewed by the palace following complaints about Meghan's allegedly aggressive behavior. If talking about Cohen's role, her task at that time was to convince Meghan, an aspiring actress, to accept the immutable hierarchy and rigid protocols of the royal family. I really feel for Cohen with this impossible task. She will probably face a lot of pressure working with a super narcissist. Meghan never agreed or understood the non-negotiable elements of the royal family. After just 1 year of Meghan and Harry's wedding, Ms. Cohen was in a mood to resign. She felt she was being treated harshly and likened the job to working with teenagers. The time the palace was looking for someone to replace Ms. Cohen was also the time bullying allegations began to appear. Mr. Knopf alleged to the palace's Human Resources Department that Meghan had bullied 2 extra family PPAs within a year and was targeting other female staff. Mr. Knopf was also concerned about Ms. Cohen experiencing extreme stress. However, at that time, the Sussex couple strongly denied the allegations. They even claimed that this is impossible because Meghan herself was a victim of bullying, so she is deeply committed to supporting those who have experienced pain and trauma. Harry also disputed the allegations in his memoir. However, after the investigation ended, with the decision to keep the investigation results private, many people were inclined to believe that Meghan was really a bully. Rumor has it that by the time the bullying allegations were in the spotlight, the relationship between Harry and Prince William had broken down, with the Prince of Wales calling Meghan's behavior unacceptable. Right at that time, the palace suspected that Meghan had never intended to give up her career and become a loyal member of the family. Many royal staff have resigned. They were hurt by Meghan's excessive claims. Some people even criticized Meghan because the embroidered blankets given to guests during a weekend photo shoot were not the right color red. Yet Meghan told a worldwide audience on Oprah that palace officials not only did little to protect her but also went so far as to plot against her and Harry. This is such a blatant lie. Mrs. Cohen and other royal staff must have been extremely disappointed, as they had worked tirelessly to help the couple. It's a shame that the report on the investigation results remains hidden and allows Meghan to continuously lie and make herself a victim. However, paper cannot wrap up the fire. Everything is gradually dripping, and perhaps Meghan will prepare to face what she did in the past. Zero surprises here. Meghan was provided all the guidance about what was expected in her role but chose to reject it, and she treated her staff harshly like indentured servants, which is not how the British royal family do things at all. In my opinion, she made no effort to actually fit in with and adjust to royal life and viewed it as a means to an end. I think the revolving door of staff leaving in their charity says it all. I have lost count of how many people have come and gone. Many of the staff involved in this investigation would have felt outraged to see how Meghan used a microphone and television cameras to give her version while they agreed to an internal investigation. Any obligation or commitment to silence should have been canceled once she opened that door. Had this behavior occurred in any other firm, that person would have been held accountable. I believe the people, most of whom were women, should have brought this situation into court. They all deserve to be heard and to be able to hold Meghan accountable publicly. Allowing her to walk away after the damage and trauma she and Harry subjected their staff to is horrible. Let me make this clear, not only was Harry complicit in his wife's behavior, but he also actively encouraged it and was involved in the very act of bullying, oppression, suppression, and subjugation. Meghan was fortunate that the royal family chose to keep this information private as long as they could. Somehow, she and Harry will still blame them. They fail to recognize that the royal family is an employer and is required by law to investigate employee concerns. They could not hide the Sussexes' behavior. The palace kept this quiet, perhaps in the hope it might dissolve a little over time. However, as Meghan and their husband have spent the last 3 years slowly discrediting themselves, now is a very good time for the maligned staff to have their say. Everyone has seen how badly those two have behaved, and the credibility of the staff will be much enhanced now with time. Up to this point, we have confirmed that Prince William seems to have been correct. Meghan has only ever intended to use the royal family to her own advantage. It was never about love for Harry and wanting him and their children to have a positive and supportive relationship with his family. It's only ever been about her. Fame, wealth, power. Meghan can deny and lie about her culpability in this mess all she wants. However, when the high turnover rate of family, friends, assistants, and PR firms distance themselves and quit their positions from her, it's very clear that it's she who's responsible for all the negativity and bullying. Only her father is forgiving and patiently waiting in the wings for her to come around. No one else is begging to be on her side. I think Meghan made it clear from the very beginning that she and her ego were in charge. After all, anyone who treats their real family with such disrespect will only treat others the same way. She certainly thinks she is more important than she is. Meghan's primary interest seems to be Meghan. Yes, we all are self-interested, but she's pushed it to a whole other level, and therefore such observations do not seem out of character for her. How could Meghan and Harry so brazenly deny their sins? If it was just one or two complaints, you could have put it down to a clash of personalities. When it is so much more, then there has to be a problem, and it pivots around one person, Meghan. It must gall her victims that she then claims that she is a victim. It must be awful to be disliked by almost everyone. Lesson here. When you're in what you deem a position of power, be nice to everyone. I always treat people how I like to be treated myself. I fully believe, and always have, that there are two Meghans, one in public and one behind closed doors. Of course, worries that Harry lives with her behind closed doors. But she does have him brainwashed for the time being into believing her interpretation of things. The trouble is that once he begins to see things more clearly, he will be trapped in the life he has chosen because he has burned bridges behind him. This bullying information is coming out at the right time because Meghan has been allowed to continue to blossom in a way that we understand her personality better and makes the bullying complaints much more realistic. People don't have that kind of turnover in staff unless something is very, very wrong. Not a stream, but a raging torrent. The staff turnover at Arkawell shows no one can put up with them very long, no matter how good they are at their job. They have hired some top people in their fields, and none have stayed. This goes back to Meghan moving so fast to catch her prince that she didn't think or perhaps realize the institution she was marrying into. Meghan's behavior was an irresponsible self-indulgence, says it all. It appears these well-seasoned employees couldn't manage this woman and her non-coddling treatment. It appears she has no self-awareness of her actions towards others. My question has always been that if she is so clever, so smart, so astute, so forthright, then why did she marry into a 1,000-year-old monarchy full of protocols, rites, and rituals, knowing full well that she would have to conform to their rules without question? The price for servitude was a life of privilege and untold luxury. She knew all that before she married Harry. The answer is that she never intended to hang around. A quickie engagement, a quickie royal wedding, and an equally quick Mexit. That was always the plan that would lead her down a path to fame and fortune. So yes, she is a grifter, schemer, and downright nasty person. And I don't wish her well. If she really loved Harry and respected his family, she would have made the effort. Princess Sophia of Sweden came from a social background, much like Meghan, and yet since marrying Prince Carl Philip doesn't seem to have put a foot wrong. It can be done if the person puts in the effort and is prepared to learn. Meghan was not prepared to do either. William was right to caution his brother in marrying hastily. From Meghan's very public exposure of herself, and her husband's as well, it is not difficult to believe that she, and his blind attraction to her and his own resentment re his birth order as a spare, were extremely difficult to work with, even rude and demanding, disrespectful. Her own words, "It's not my job to coddle people," says a great deal about Meghan, that she believes treating people who work for her with respect is coddling them. These people had been in service to the royal family for enough years to know how to assist her. It was their career, not just their employment, and they all resigned and left, and so would I, in the same circumstance. Her view that respecting those who work for her is coddling them without regard for their experience, knowledge, years of service, just their humanity, is inconsistent with her claim to be a humanitarian or a feminist who empowers women in the workplace or society. Her only empowerment is on behalf of herself, via bullying and exploitation of everyone around her until they are no longer of use to her or they drop her, and in the latter case, that is due to their flaws, not hers. And her wimp of a husband is no better. They have made themselves known around the world for exactly who they are, and it isn't a nice reputation, leaving a trail of victims behind them. It's satisfying to finally see the unraveling of Markle and Harry. We've had years of their truth, of them both constantly playing the victim, saying what they want, publicly accusing other people of terrible things, and now, at last, we are starting to get the other side truth of the stories. Even though it's just a trickle, I believe sooner or later the whole truth will be revealed. Then Meghan will be done. That also brings us to the end of this video. If you agree with my opinion, please comment okay. If not, please express yourself so we can know your opinion. Don't forget to like and share the video. Your support is our motivation. Let's subscribe to receive notifications about the newest videos. We will be back soon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.